When the Sun moves through Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026, the collective atmosphere shifts toward meaning, purpose, truth, and higher understanding. It is essential to note that these interpretations are based on Sidereal or Vedic astrology, which accounts for the approximately 24-degree difference with the tropical zodiac. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter and symbolizing the ninth house of Dharma, knowledge, philosophy, ethics, teachers, long journeys, and exploration, becomes a stage where the Sun expresses its search for direction and wisdom. This transit naturally elevates themes of learning, self-discovery, belief systems, and the urge to expand beyond one's familiar boundaries. Yet this particular year's transit carries an exceptional intensity because the Sun does not travel alone. Mars is already present in Sagittarius, Venus arrives shortly after, and Mercury joins on December 29th. This creates a rare concentration of planetary energy that ignites the Sagittarian environment with ambition, passion, inspiration, and ideological strength. At the same time, the Sun maintains a mutual aspect with Jupiter retrograding in Gemini, and receives Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces and Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo, forming a multidimensional blend of forces that will influence collective consciousness in distinct ways. The Sun in Sagittarius generally operates with a desire to express truth and guide others. People often become more outspoken about their beliefs, more confident in their opinions, and more willing to question or redefine their understanding of life. Sagittarius encourages exploration of higher thought, be it religious, philosophical, spiritual, academic, or legal. When the Sun passes through this sign, our inner compass seeks broader horizons, and there is a strong longing for growth through knowledge or experience. The Sun represents identity and purpose. Sagittarius represents wisdom and expansion. Together they create a month where individuals reassess their convictions, look at life from a wider lens, and search for meaning beyond the practical demands of everyday existence. The mutual aspect with Jupiter adds a deeper, reflective quality. Jupiter in retrograde motion in Gemini prompts a re-examination of teachings, ideas, and past experiences. Under this influence, the Sun's journey through Sagittarius is not merely about discovering new knowledge, it also becomes a process of revisiting and reinterpreting old lessons. Many may find themselves returning to earlier philosophies, reconnecting with former teachers, reconsidering belief systems, or seeking clarity in areas where confusion once existed. The aspect between the Sun and Jupiter enhances confidence and optimism, but the retrograde motion suggests a need for correction, refinement, and maturity in how one approaches truth. The conjunction with Mars intensifies everything. Mars in Sagittarius amplifies passion, assertiveness, and competitive drive. People may feel compelled to defend their viewpoints or pursue new opportunities with determination. This combination can inspire courageous steps toward long-term goals, educational pursuits, or meaningful journeys. It may also lead to ideological clashes, impatience, or a tendency to assert beliefs forcefully. Mars can make the month fast-paced and demanding, urging individuals to act on their convictions rather than merely reflect upon them. Venus adds relational, creative, and financial layers to the experience. When Venus enters Sagittarius, a desire for freedom within relationships grows, as well as a need for intellectual and philosophical compatibility. Venus becomes surrounded by two fiery planets, the Sun and Mars, which can create intensity in personal connections, demanding honesty, clarity, and balance. Some may experience romantic breakthroughs, while others may encounter conflicts arising from differences in beliefs or expectations. Creativity flourishes under Venus in Sagittarius, especially in fields related to writing, teaching, travel, and performance. Mercury joining the conjunction brings mental sharpness, curiosity, and an active communication climate. Mercury in Sagittarius eagerly seeks knowledge, but its tone becomes more assertive due to the presence of Mars and the Sun. Conversations may become bold, debates may intensify, and people may express their thoughts with unusual confidence. This is a period where writing, studying, teaching, and public communication become powerful outlets. Yet Mercury caught between Mars and the Sun may also create rushed decisions or confrontational speech, requiring self-awareness and communication. Saturn's aspect from Pisces adds seriousness and accountability. Saturn grounds the fiery impulses of Sagittarius, reminding us that belief without discipline is incomplete. Saturn's influence encourages thoughtful action, long-term planning, and responsibility, especially regarding ethical decisions. It may slow certain initiatives temporarily, yet it also ensures that insights gained during this period lead to practical, sustainable change. Ketu's aspect from Leo introduces introspective and spiritual undercurrents. Ketu encourages detachment from superficial ideas and compels individuals to seek deeper truth. Overall, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius in 2025 to 26 marks a period of dynamic learning, ideological expansion, and elevated spiritual awareness. It ignites a desire for purpose while exposing rigid or outdated belief structures. Individuals may feel pulled toward travel, study, teaching, or seeking guidance. Conflicts may arise when differing viewpoints collide, but these very moments reveal where growth is needed. This transit encourages people to elevate their thinking, refine their understanding, and align their lives with principles that resonate deeply. Wherever the Sun goes in transit for 1 month, our soul and our focus go into things related to that house. A person will feel gravitated, motivated, or even forced to take up things related to the house where the Sun is moving. Likewise, if the Sun is transiting over any significant natal planets in your chart, especially your Moon, Mars, or Jupiter, those themes will activate prominently in your life. It's essential to look at dignity of planets to derive precise outcomes. To accurately assess the impact of these transits, it is crucial to consider your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign offers insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you will emotionally respond to these changes. Take into account the position of your current Mahadasha Lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your current dasha period. This transit may manifest differently for each individual, and how they navigate this transit will depend on their personal charts. A more precise understanding of the impact of this transit can be gained by examining the Sun's Ashtaka score in Sagittarius. Keep in mind that the effects of this transit are contingent on Sun's interaction with the planets in individual birth charts. It's also worth noting that individuals currently experiencing the influence of Sun dasha periods may feel the effects of this transit more intensely. To understand how this transit may affect you based on your zodiac sign and the houses it transits, let's delve into those specifics. For Aries, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius becomes one of the defining periods of the year because it activates a trine between two Dharma houses, the 5th house ruled by the Sun and the 9th house where it now transits. This creates a powerful alignment of intelligence, guidance, education, destiny, creativity, and life direction. Whenever the 5th and 9th houses connect, a karmic gateway opens, giving you access to higher wisdom, long-distance travel, spiritual teachers, and opportunities that shift your worldview. This year, the transit becomes even more significant because the Sun does not travel alone. Mars is already in Sagittarius, and within days Venus and Mercury join, creating a fiery, intellectually charged conjunction that brings intensity, breakthroughs, confrontations, and rapid changes. To add more complexity, Jupiter aspects Sagittarius from Gemini, creating a mutual aspect between Jupiter and the Sun, while Saturn aspects from Pisces and Ketu casts its 5th aspect from Leo. Rahu's position in Aquarius influences the network portion of your life, subtly adding ambition and future-directed thinking. All of these planetary combinations make this transit deeply transformative for you, especially in matters related to education, belief systems, travel, father figures, teachers, and overall life purpose. The Sun, as the ruler of your 5th house, represents intelligence, creative intelligence, education, children, inspiration, romance, and your ability to make purposeful decisions. When this 5th Lord moves into your 9th house of higher learning, long journeys, fortune, and dharma, your mind naturally becomes attracted to subjects that expand your understanding. You may feel a sudden desire to read, learn, explore, teach, or travel. Even if you have never been inclined toward philosophical or spiritual subjects, you may begin exploring them now. The transit can also improve relationships with teachers and mentors or bring new guiding figures into your life. If you are already in academic or legal professions, or working in advisory, publishing, spiritual, or educational roles, this period becomes especially productive. The mutual aspect between the Sun and Jupiter strengthens this energy further. Jupiter retrograding in Gemini encourages you to review past beliefs and knowledge. The Sun receiving Jupiter's aspect can illuminate old teachings with new clarity, helping you reinterpret situations or decisions from earlier in life. While Jupiter retrograde may create temporary indecision or a sense of revisiting old lessons, the Sun's presence in Sagittarius helps you distinguish between genuine wisdom and superficial information. This mutual aspect often increases confidence, optimism, and the desire to move toward your destiny with maturity. It can also bring opportunities through father figures, mentors, or people you meet during travel or academic pursuits. Mars transiting Sagittarius alongside the Sun adds dynamism but also volatility. Mars rules your 1st and 8th houses, and whenever Mars joins the Sun, your energy levels rise sharply. You may feel a strong need to assert your beliefs or take a stand on important matters. There can be boldness in pursuing new opportunities, but there may also be impulsiveness or conflict if you try to impose your beliefs on others. This combination can motivate you to take decisive steps toward education, relocation, travel, or spiritual pursuits. Mars also brings impatience, so disagreements with teachers, father figures, or colleagues regarding ideology or direction can easily arise. The best way to handle this energy is with conscious restraint and a willingness to learn rather than dominate. Mercury joining this conjunction on December 29th creates a period of intellectual intensity. Your communication becomes more animated, sharp, and opinionated. You may find yourself engaging in heated debates or expressing ideas with unusual force. The mind becomes active, but Mercury with the Sun and Mars can lead to misunderstandings, rash communication, or speaking without considering the impact. When used constructively, this combination makes writing, speaking, studying, and teaching highly productive. If you work in law, advocacy, teaching, media, writing, or public communication, you may receive important opportunities or heightened visibility now. Venus joining the conjunction adds emotional and relational layers. Venus rules your 2nd and 7th houses, and its presence in Sagittarius during this fiery conjunction brings passion and attraction, but also instability in relationships. Ego and dominance within partnerships may surface. For some of you, travel with a partner or discussions regarding long-term plans may arise. For others, conflicts due to differing belief systems, family expectations, or personal visions may intensify. Venus in Sagittarius generally enjoys freedom and exploration, but surrounded by the Sun and Mars, it may feel pressured. You should avoid forcing your opinions or making impulsive romantic decisions during this time. Professional collaborations may benefit from this transit, especially in creative or financial pursuits. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces adds grounding but also seriousness. Saturn in your 12th house brings deeper introspection and a sense of inner responsibility. When Saturn aspects the Sun, it often tests your confidence, creating situations where your ego must be set aside in order to learn or grow. The aspect on the 9th house may slow travel plans, create delays in academic matters, or bring karmic lessons connected to father figures or teachers. It encourages humility and patience. Saturn also stabilizes spiritual practice, making this a good time for meditation, retreats, or disciplined study. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo subtly affects the mental and emotional side of the transit. Ketu's influence on the Sun often creates moments of detachment, self-inquiry, or identity questioning. You may develop an urge to distance yourself from old belief systems or relationships that no longer resonate. You may seek authenticity and simplicity in your learning process. Ketu's influence can also draw you towards spiritual knowledge rather than purely religious structures. Rahu's position in Aquarius affects your gains, ambitions, networks, and long-term visions. While it does not directly influence the Sun in Sagittarius, it supports your process by encouraging future thinking and connecting with people who share your goals. During the transit, you might meet influential individuals or join groups that offer inspiration or collaboration opportunities. Rahu brings unconventional thinking, complementing Jupiter's wisdom and Sagittarius expansion. Overall, this transit marks a period of growth, expansion, and self-realization for you as an Aries. It encourages you to step beyond familiar boundaries and embrace experiences that broaden your worldview. The house of luck and dharma becomes activated, suggesting that meaningful opportunities may arise through effort, travel, education, or divine timing. The Sun brings clarity, Mars brings courage, Mercury brings insight, Venus brings connection, Jupiter brings wisdom, Saturn brings accountability, and Ketu brings deeper truth. Together they create a transformative month where you can discover new meaning, reshape beliefs, and take confident steps toward your long-term purpose. For Taurus, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026 becomes a profound, transformative phase because the Sun rules their 4th house of home, security, domestic peace, inner stability, property, mother, and private life. When the 4th Lord moves into the 8th house, an area associated with sudden events, transformation, secrets, psychological depth, inheritance, joint resources, hidden fears, and inner rebirth. Life takes a more introspective and intense direction. The 8th house has a way of pushing the native toward deeper understanding of themselves and circumstances by disrupting their comfort zone. For Taurus individuals, who prefer steadiness and predictability, this transit creates a time when circumstances feel less controlled, more volatile, and charged with profound inner recalibration. The Sun's presence in the 8th encourages letting go of outdated responses and confronting matters long ignored. Yet this period is not only about upheaval, it is a doorway to renewal, empowerment, and clearer psychological insight. The transit becomes even more potent because the Sun does not travel alone. Mars is already in Sagittarius, Venus enters soon after, and Mercury joins on December 29th. This creates a powerful conjunction that triggers the 8th house on several levels. Mars brings action, heat, urgency, and the potential for impulsive decisions, while Venus introduces relational, financial, and sensual themes. Mercury supplies information, communication, analysis, and potential revelations. Together they transform the 8th house into an active arena of events often involving shared finances, intimate partnerships, property matters, mental health work, psychological healing, or sudden changes in direction. This conjunction sits under the mutual aspect between the Sun, Mars, and Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter's retrograde position in the 2nd house encourages reviewing financial choices, saving strategies, family responsibilities, and long-term security. The Sun-Jupiter mutual aspect can expose hidden truths about money and family dynamics, and it can also bring opportunities for repair, restructuring, or smarter stewardship if handled with care. Because retrograde Jupiter asks for correction of earlier choices, Taurus individuals may revisit previous decisions about property, loans, investments, or household arrangements. The Sun in the 8th house often illuminates what is normally unseen. This may play out as secrets being uncovered, misunderstandings clarified, or psychological burdens rising to awareness. Taurus individuals could feel more vulnerable, yet also more capable of focused reflection. Many may explore therapy, occult subjects, astrology, depth psychology, or meditative practices, tools that help restore a sense of control and inner alignment. The 8th house is also the field of transformation through crisis. While the transit will not bring difficulty for everyone, it commonly generates heightened inner pressure or situations that push the native to rethink their approach to relationships and security. This is a time suited to deep work, eliminating old habits, reorganizing finances, addressing health matters, or restructuring boundaries. Mars in this house tends to intensify the environment, producing potential confrontations, impatience, or sudden reactions. Taurus individuals should take extra care with their speech, financial commitments, and interactions with partners, as Mars combined with Mercury and the Sun can lead to blunt communication or misread intentions. Yet Mars also furnishes the courage required to face deep-seated issues rather than avoid them. Use this energy constructively to resolve long-standing household problems or to begin practical improvements, repairs, legal clarity, or financial auditing that have been postponed. Since Mars rules the 12th house for Taurus, part of this intensity may relate to subconscious patterns, sleep disruptions, expenditures, or matters tied to foreign connections. Venus joining the conjunction introduces intimacy, shared values, financial entwining, and matters of taste into the 8th house mix. As Taurus's chart ruler, Venus magnifies the personal significance of this transit. Individuals may crave deeper closeness or experience tests of trust and vulnerability. Relationships could be strained by issues of power, control, or unmet expectations, especially when Venus is squeezed between assertive Sun and Mars energies. At the same time, this placement can catalyze healing and intimate bonds, honest conversations, therapeutic work, or mutual commitment to change can strengthen connections. Professionally, Venus here can indicate behind-the-scenes negotiations, strategic partnerships, or preparations for future collaborative ventures. Mercury's entry on December 29th increases the flow of information and activates analytical processing. The mind becomes curious about hidden matters, research, and problem-solving. Taurus individuals may uncover previously unnoticed expenses, miscommunications, or facts requiring clarification. This is a period when intuition and investigative thinking work well together. Mercury placed with Sun and Mars can trigger anxiety, overanalysis, or brusque speech. Careful wording, double-checking numbers, and avoiding hasty agreements will serve you better than impulsive statements during this time. Saturn's aspect from Pisces adds seriousness and accountability to the 8th house dynamics. Saturn's 10th aspect activates the 8th with a sober, long-term perspective, highlighting responsibilities, karmic patterns, and the structural weaknesses within shared finances or family arrangements. Saturn may delay joint financial processes, property settlements, insurance claims, or inheritance matters, but its influence also ensures that when things are addressed methodically, they stand the test of time. This transit can feel like a call to mature stewardship, sorting paperwork, establishing legal safeguards, or making pragmatic choices that shore up security in the long run. Saturn's presence encourages patience and invites you to build lasting foundations rather than seeking quick fixes. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo encourages detachment and introspection. Ketu often produces withdrawal, a need for solitude, or a compulsion to examine inner motives. For Taurus individuals, this influence can prompt moments of retreat, an inward review of attachment patterns, or the desire to simplify one's private life. Ketu's role here helps you recognize which ties are karmic and which are freely chosen. If used consciously, it can lead to liberation from habits that no longer serve growth. Rahu in Aquarius energizes the 10th house of career and public life. Although Rahu does not directly aspect the Sun in this transit, its placement keeps professional ambition active and may pull you between inner work and outer responsibilities. Career developments might demand attention even as internal shifts cause you to question public roles or long-term goals. Rahu encourages innovative, bold moves professionally, but the 8th house emphasis urges caution and due diligence before making high-stakes decisions. Overall, the Sun's transit in the 8th house for Taurus is a powerful season of inner alchemy and practical transformation. It reveals what has been hidden, strengthens self-awareness, and pushes the native to confront areas of life that need change. Though the journey may feel intense at moments, it is a phase of deep empowerment, shedding obsolete patterns, restructuring finances, healing intimate bonds, and rediscovering resilience. Approach this month with curiosity and disciplined action, and you will convert disruption into long-term stability and renewed purpose. For Gemini, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius becomes one of the most critical phases of the year because the Sun, ruling your 3rd house of effort, communication, courage, skills, and self-initiative, enters your 7th house of relationships, business partnerships, marriage, contracts, and public interactions. This alignment creates a powerful focus on the external world, making this month highly active, socially engaging, and at times intense. The 7th house is the mirror of the self. When your 3rd lord enters this domain, life becomes a dialogue between your personal ambitions and the expectations or demands of others. This transit does not occur in isolation. Sagittarius is already occupied by Mars, which fuels passion and conflict. Venus will join shortly, adding emotional and relational intensity. And Mercury, your 1st house lord, enters on December 29th, sharpening your intellectual reactions. The Sun forms conjunctions with all 3 planets during this period. At the same time, Jupiter in Gemini creates a mutual aspect, expanding the significance of partnerships, negotiations, and public image. Saturn casts its 10th aspect from Pisces, grounding but also pressuring career and authority-related matters. Ketu from Leo influences your communication, self-expression, and decision-making. Rahu's presence in Aquarius adds long-term ambition and ideological shifts. Together, these planetary forces create a deeply transformative experience for you, especially in the area of relationships, career dealings, and personal identity expressed through partnerships. The Sun as your 3rd lord represents your communication style, courage, skills, marketing abilities, self-effort, learning, and initiative. When this 3rd lord moves into your 7th house, you feel an urge to voice your opinions more openly within relationships. You seek to express your identity through interactions with others. The Sun brings authority into the 7th house, occasionally making you appear dominant or assertive with partners. If you are single, this transit can attract dynamic or confident individuals, though relationships that begin now may carry a strong karmic component. If you are married, the Sun's influence can bring important conversations, clarifications, or even ego clashes that require maturity to navigate. Because the 7th house governs business partnerships as well, this period activates teamwork, collaborations, and public visibility. You may find yourself negotiating deals, working closely with clients, or addressing issues that require direct interpersonal communication. The mutual aspect between the Sun and Jupiter adds positivity, growth, and opportunity. Jupiter retrograding in Gemini aspects the Sun in Sagittarius, creating a direct dialogue between your first house and seventh house, the axis of self versus partnership. Jupiter's influence broadens your horizons, encourages learning through relationships, and brings fairness and wisdom into your interactions. Because Jupiter is retrograde, you may revisit old relationship themes, reconnect with former partners, renegotiate old contracts, or reevaluate past commitments. Jupiter enhances the Sun's desire to communicate, making your discussions more reflective and philosophical. This can heal relationships if handled openly, but it can also reveal belief system differences if tensions already exist. Mars in Sagittarius creates dynamism but also volatility in your partnerships. Mars is a functional malefic for Gemini, ruling your 6th and 11th houses, and when it joins the Sun in your 7th house, it can produce conflict, competition, or power struggles. People may challenge you more often, or you may feel pressured to defend your opinions. While this energy boosts your courage to confront issues directly, it can also escalate into unnecessary arguments. Professionally, Mars can be beneficial by driving ambition, helping you close deals, take bold steps in business, and assert yourself publicly. It encourages action but must be channeled with awareness. Mercury entering Sagittarius on December 29th becomes extremely important because Mercury is your first house lord. When the first house lord enters the 7th house and joins the Sun and Mars, you become highly reactive, quick thinking, and sharp in communication. But Mercury with the Sun and Mars can create miscommunication, stress, or harsh speech. Your mind becomes analytical but also easily agitated. You may find yourself overthinking conversations, scrutinizing partnerships, or worrying about your public image. Yet this energy also makes you persuasive, strategic, and capable of handling negotiations with precision. Mercury's presence can ultimately stabilize the communication side of this transit, provided you remain mindful of tone and timing. Venus joining this conjunction brings emotional, romantic, and relational themes to the forefront. Venus rules your 5th and 12th houses. In the 7th house, Venus can bring romantic opportunities, passion, and attraction, but surrounded by the Sun and Mars, the emotional environment may feel intense, heated, or unstable. Venus may also highlight financial matters related to business partnerships, contracts, and shared commitments. You may experience desires for validation, strong emotional attachment, or confusion about relationship expectations. Venus softens the harshness of Sun-Mars interactions, allowing moments of affection, diplomacy, and creative collaboration. This transit can deepen relationships if both parties are willing to address unresolved issues. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces influences your 7th house by demanding responsibility, realism, and accountability in relationships and business dealings. Saturn brings pressure but also clarity. It can reveal weaknesses in partnerships or push you to commit more seriously. You may feel that partners or clients have high expectations, or that your public image must be managed carefully. Professionally, Saturn can bring important opportunities but only through disciplined effort and maturity. Ketu's aspect from Leo influences your communication, creating moments of detachment or introspection. Ketu may lead you to question your usual communication style or reconsider what is worth expressing. There may be karmic conversations, fated encounters, or sudden changes in agreements. Ketu can also inspire spiritual awareness within relationships, encouraging you to look beyond ego and toward deeper meaning. Rahu in Aquarius influences your 9th house, adding ambition, curiosity, and unconventional thinking to your broader life direction. Rahu motivates you to explore new philosophies, travel, higher education, or ideological perspectives. Its subtle influence affects your partnerships by shaping long-term goals and introducing new visions for growth. Some relationships may evolve due to differing belief systems. Others may strengthen through shared exploration. Overall, this transit becomes a powerful cycle of relationship evolution, self-discovery through partnerships, and profound communication. You will find that the external world reflects your inner shifts, and every interaction becomes a mirror of your personal growth. Through all these influences, you are invited to refine how you relate to others, how you express your truth, and how you balance self-assertion with mutual respect. For Cancer, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16th, 2025 to January 14th, 2026 becomes an important transformative cycle because the Sun, as the ruler of your 2nd house, enters your 6th house of obstacles, daily work, disputes, health, service, and problem solving. Whenever the Lord of your wealth, speech, family responsibilities, and values moves into the 6th house, it places emphasis on responsibilities, discipline, and practical matters that need attention. This is a time when you feel compelled to repair what is broken, resolve what has been delayed, and confront what you have avoided. Since the 6th house is also one of the houses where the sun functions strongly, this transit pushes you to adopt an authoritative, structured, and solution-oriented approach to your daily life. The 6th house demands effort, and the sun makes sure that these efforts become unavoidable. The complexity of this year's transit comes from the fact that the sun does not travel alone. Mars is already in Sagittarius, creating a fiery foundation in your 6th house. Within days, Venus and Mercury join, forming a multi-planet conjunction that amplifies activity in this area of life. You may feel overwhelmed with tasks, but you also gain the inner strength to handle them. To add further layers, the Sun receives the 7th aspect of Jupiter retrograding in Gemini, creating a mutual aspect between the Sun and Jupiter. Saturn aspects Sagittarius from Pisces with its 10th aspect, applying pressure and accountability. Ketu casts its 5th aspect from Leo, bringing detachment, unpredictability, or karmic closures related to finances, speech, or self-worth. Rahu's influence from Aquarius adds a subtle push toward long-term planning, debt management, or psychological restructuring. As your 2nd lord, the Sun represents family, accumulated wealth, savings, food habits, speech, and values. Its movement into the 6th house means these areas may become entangled with 6th house themes: debts, disputes, conflicts, discipline, health routines, and service-related responsibilities. You may find yourself spending more on health, resolving financial issues, or dealing with work-related pressure. The transit may highlight imbalances in food habits or lifestyle, pushing you to adopt healthier practices. Because the 6th house represents enemies and competition, you could face rivalry or criticism in the workplace. Since the Sun becomes strong in the 6th, you usually emerge victorious, even if the process feels demanding. The mutual aspect of the Sun and Jupiter is particularly important. Jupiter retrograding in your 12th house encourages inner reflection, spiritual guidance, and re-evaluation of subconscious patterns. Its aspect on the Sun in the 6th provides support in dealing with challenges. It brings you the wisdom to handle disputes peacefully, the intuition to diagnose problems correctly, and the patience to avoid unnecessary confrontations. Because Jupiter is retrograde, some situations may feel as though they are repeating themselves, especially unresolved issues related to finances, family, or past agreements. With the Sun illuminating the 6th house and Jupiter aspecting it, you enter a period of learning through effort. You may develop a deeper understanding of your habits, boundaries, and self-worth. Mars in the 6th house intensifies the transit significantly. Mars rules your 5th and 10th houses, meaning that children, creativity, education, career direction, and authority figures also become part of the story during this period. Mars in the 6th often brings a warrior-like determination to resolve challenges. You may become highly productive, disciplined, and assertive, but you may also experience frustration, anger, or conflict with coworkers, employees, or family members. Since Mars amplifies physical energy, this is a favorable time to initiate exercise routines or address health concerns. Mars can also create inflammation, injuries, or stress if you act impulsively. Mercury joining the conjunction on December 29th activates communication-related challenges and opportunities. As the natural significator of problem-solving, Mercury in the 6th becomes analytical and detail-oriented. You may find yourself dealing with paperwork, contracts, official documentation, or communication-heavy tasks. Mercury between the Sun and Mars can indicate heated exchanges or misunderstandings if not handled carefully. This combination helps immensely in situations requiring debate, negotiation, or strategic thinking, but it may become overwhelming if emotions take over. Venus entering Sagittarius and joining the conjunction adds another dimension. Venus rules your 4th and 11th houses, linking emotional security, home, property matters, and social networks with the themes of the 6th house. You may deal with repairs or improvements related to your home or vehicle. Family dynamics may become tense due to misunderstandings or differing expectations. Financial collaborations or friendships may require caution, as Venus surrounded by the Sun and Mars can create ego-driven or competitive tendencies. Venus in the 6th can also inspire you to improve daily routines, make healthier lifestyle choices, or refine your approach to work. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces adds seriousness, responsibility, and pressure. Saturn in your 9th house is already testing your belief systems, philosophical foundations, and long-term direction. Its aspect on the Sun in the 6th demands maturity and discipline. You may feel as though you are carrying heavier responsibilities or receiving less support from authority figures. Workload may increase, and deadlines may become strict. Saturn ensures that shortcuts do not work during this time, but it also strengthens your resilience and capability if you remain patient. Ketu's aspect from Leo influences your 2nd house themes indirectly through the Sun. This may create moments of emotional detachment from family matters, a desire to simplify your financial structure, or a need to release outdated beliefs regarding security and values. Ketu may also trigger karmic situations related to inheritance, loans, or family responsibilities. It encourages you to move beyond material attachment and develop inner clarity around self-worth. Rahu in Aquarius affects your 8th house of transformation, shared finances, psychological depth, and karmic change. Rahu intensifies your desire for financial independence, deeper investigation, and emotional restructuring. Its influence supports the 6th house transit by pushing you to break old patterns and embrace new strategies for problem solving. Overall, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius becomes a month of intense self-improvement, restructuring of routines, financial discipline, and resolution of long-standing issues. The Sun urges you to step into a more responsible, organized, and empowered version of yourself. This is a period when you can make significant progress in health, work, and financial stability, provided you embrace discipline, patience, and self-awareness. For Leo, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026 becomes an exceptionally important and impactful period because the Sun is your 1st house lord, the planet that represents your identity, vitality, purpose, confidence, and direction in life. When the Lord of your 1st house moves into your 5th house, it naturally illuminates the areas of creativity, intelligence, education, children, romance, and speculative matters. This is typically one of the most favorable annual Sun transits for you because the 5th house is a trine and is inherently harmonious for the Sun. Sagittarius, a fiery sign ruled by Jupiter, resonates beautifully with your natural fire element, creating a month where you feel inspired, expressive, enthusiastic, and ready to pursue passions that reflect your true inner self. The impact becomes far more powerful and multi-layered this year due to the presence of Mars, Venus, and Mercury in Sagittarius, as well as the mutual aspect between the Sun and Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Saturn from Pisces casts its 10th aspect on the Sun, while Ketu aspects from Leo itself, and Rahu occupies Aquarius, directly influencing partnerships and your social sphere. This makes the transit one of intense self-expression, deeper self-analysis, relationship transformation, and powerful creative or intellectual breakthroughs. Because the Sun rules your 1st house, its transit directly influences your physical vitality, mental clarity, personality, and overall direction. In the 5th house, the Sun strengthens your intellectual capabilities and sharpens your discrimination. You may feel a renewed sense of purpose, as if reconnecting with your core identity after months of internal fluctuation. The 5th house also governs inspiration, and during this transit, you may feel motivated to begin creative projects, artistic pursuits, speculative ventures, or educational goals you had postponed. This is a time when personal expression feels natural, strong, and deeply meaningful. The Sun in Sagittarius also highlights higher learning and the philosophical dimension of creativity, making you approach your goals with greater purpose rather than mere impulse. The mutual aspect between the Sun in Sagittarius and Jupiter retrograding in Gemini greatly enhances this period. Jupiter's influence on the Sun strengthens wisdom, optimism, and your ability to see the long-term implications of present decisions. The connection between your 5th and 11th houses brings expansion in gains, friendships, networks, and recognition. Your talents, 5th house, meet your audience or rewards, 11th house, meaning creative efforts can produce tangible results now. Jupiter retrograde may encourage you to revisit old friendships, projects, or goals, reassessing them with greater clarity and maturity. You may reconnect with people who once inspired you or return to abandoned plans with fresh vision. This time also increases your desire for intellectually stimulating pursuits, as Jupiter's retrograde motion sends your curiosity inward and deepens your reflective understanding. Mars conjoining the Sun in Sagittarius intensifies enthusiasm but also introduces restlessness and emotional intensity. Mars rules your 4th and 9th houses, bringing matters related to home, emotional foundations, belief systems, father figures, and long-distance travel into focus. The combination of Sun and Mars in the 5th gives you a powerful drive to pursue creative, academic, or speculative goals, but it may also cause impatience or competitiveness. You may feel compelled to prove yourself or assert your ideas strongly. For students, this period brings sharp focus but also emotional intensity. For those involved in sports, acting, leadership, or creative industries, Mars amplifies ambition and the desire to excel. This fiery combination may cause friction with children or romantic partners if you become overly assertive or demanding. Mercury joining the Sun and Mars on December 29th creates a period of heightened intellectual activity. The 5th house represents intelligence and decision-making, and Mercury's involvement amplifies mental sharpness, analytical skill, and creative problem-solving. You may find yourself expressing ideas more forcefully, and communication may become passionate, dramatic, or intense. Mercury with Mars and the Sun can create volatility, leading to impulsive speech, misunderstandings, or tension in romantic or creative relationships. But when used consciously, this is an excellent period for writing, studying, teaching, planning, or sharing creative content. Venus in Sagittarius adds another emotional and relational dimension. Venus rules your 3rd and 10th houses, linking communication, courage, career, and public reputation with the 5th house of love and creativity. Venus in the 5th enhances charm, artistry, and the desire for pleasurable experiences. Surrounded by fiery planets like the Sun and Mars, Venus may feel strained, creating emotional intensity in romantic interactions. You may feel more passionate than usual, but also more sensitive to emotional fluctuations. Professionally, Venus supports recognition, particularly in creative or public roles, but you must avoid ego-driven behavior or overassertion. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces adds seriousness and responsibility to this fiery transit. Saturn in your 8th house is already bringing transformative experiences, deeper introspection, and karmic cleansing. Its aspect on the Sun in the May 5th create pressure related to creative efforts, academic performance, or matters involving children. At times, you may feel your confidence tested or your enthusiasm restricted by practical realities. Yet Saturn also brings discipline, helping you structure your creative, intellectual, or educational pursuits in a more sustainable, long-term way. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo touches the Sun directly, bringing subtle introspection. Ketu can cause temporary detachment or confusion about personal identity, romantic desires, or creative direction. You may feel a strong urge to express yourself while simultaneously questioning the meaning behind that expression. This creates a deeply reflective internal environment, pushing you to discover more authentic sources of creativity and self-expression rather than relying on external validation. Rahu in Aquarius influences your partnerships, collaborations, and social interactions. With the Sun activating your 5th house and Rahu influencing the 7th, you may attract unconventional partners or collaborate with people from diverse backgrounds. This period enhances public visibility and can draw increased attention from others. But Rahu also reminds you to avoid unrealistic expectations or idealizing partnerships. Overall, the Sun's transit in Sagittarius becomes a month of inspiration, self-realization, intellectual expansion, and emotional intensity for you. It opens the door to creative breakthroughs, meaningful expression, romantic passion, and academic achievements, but it also requires maturity, discipline, and conscious communication. The combination of planetary energies pushes you to rediscover your authentic talents and express them boldly, while refining your purpose so your actions align with deeper wisdom. For Virgo, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16th, 2025 to January 14th, 2026 becomes an important period of internal restructuring, personal grounding, and domestic transformation. The Sun rules your 12th house, a sector connected with withdrawal, foreign lands, private life, expenditures, spiritual evolution, subconscious patterns, and release. When this Sun moves into your 4th house of home, mother, inner stability, real estate, and comfort, it activates a complex blend of influences that reveal hidden layers of your psyche and highlight matters connected to your living environment. This month becomes a time in which you must balance inner needs with family obligations, confront long-ignored emotional patterns, and seek clarity about what truly creates peace in your home. Since Mahadasha, Antarctica, and birth chart dignity modify the outcomes substantially, this transit becomes particularly impactful if you are undergoing Sun-related planetary periods. The intensity of this transit rises significantly because the Sun does not travel alone. Sagittarius is already hosting Mars, and soon after, Venus and Mercury join, creating a fiery and highly active atmosphere in your 4th house. The 4th house usually prefers gentle, nurturing energies, but Mars and the Sun introduce heat, restlessness, and heightened activity. Venus adds sensitivity and relational concerns, while Mercury brings analytical focus and communication into household matters. Together, these influences may stir family discussions, decision-making around home improvement, issues involving your mother, or expenditure-heavy domestic responsibilities. Since the Sun represents your 12th house, its presence here can bring spending related to the home, temporary distance from family due to travel or work, or an increased need for solitude even while dealing with household matters. This does not indicate negativity. Instead, it reflects the 12th house's influence of detachment merging with the 4th house's desire for emotional grounding and stability. Jupiter's mutual aspect with the Sun adds guidance, clarity, and broad perspective to what might otherwise feel like an unsettled transit. Jupiter from Gemini, although retrograde, casts a supportive, intellectually expansive influence on your 4th house. This encourages you to examine your practical circumstances and rethink the foundation of your inner well-being. Retrograde Jupiter often brings reflection, prompting you to revisit old ideas about family, security, home life, and personal priorities. The mutual aspect between Jupiter and the Sun helps settle misunderstandings within the household and fosters an environment where spiritual or philosophical learning can flourish inside your home. You may feel drawn toward meditation, contemplative study, or practices that help you anchor your mind during this period. Mars joining the Sun increases activity in the home and may symbolize renovations, repairs, rearrangement of your living space, or even relocation. If you study or work from home, this combination can bring heightened ambition but also restlessness. Mars rules your 3rd and 8th houses, bringing themes of communication, psychological depth, unexpected events, and increased effort. You may feel more protective of your personal space, and friction with family members may arise if assertiveness becomes excessive. This energy can be used productively to resolve long-standing household issues or initiate meaningful improvements. Mercury's entry into Sagittarius adds a mental and organizational layer to the transit. As your 1st house lord, Mercury represents the self, and its presence in the 4th house during this fiery conjunction means your mind becomes actively engaged with domestic responsibilities. Communication with family members may increase, though at times it may become sharp or overly analytical due to the Sun and Mars. This is a period where honest conversations can bring healing, even if they temporarily intensify tensions. Mercury's involvement also increases the likelihood of signing paperwork related to property, loans, leases, or renovation plans. Venus, ruling your 2nd and 9th houses, introduces financial themes, familial dynamics, and a desire for comfort into this transit. Its presence within the conjunction may spark a strong need to beautify your home or make lifestyle changes that enhance ease and emotional well-being. It can also indicate expenses for household aesthetics or family-related purchases. Positioned between fiery planets, Venus may feel pressured, creating moments of dissatisfaction or tension around financial decisions or family expectations. Even so, Venus offers harmony, diplomacy, and softness, helping you navigate sensitive situations with greater tact. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces is another major shaping influence during this transit. Saturn in your 7th house already highlights responsibilities, partnerships, and commitments. Its aspect on your 4th house adds weight to domestic matters, making them feel non-negotiable and requiring disciplined attention. This may manifest as increased responsibility toward family, long-standing chores, or obligations connected to the home. Delays or slow progress in real estate matters are also possible. You may sense pressure or a heavy workload at home, but Saturn's influence ultimately stabilizes your decisions and ensures that long-term outcomes are prioritized over impulsive reactions. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo influences the psychological dimension of this transit. Ketu brings introspection, detachment, and karmic purification. Its aspect on the Sun may create moments of withdrawal, contemplation, or reevaluation of what truly provides peace. You may temporarily need distance from certain emotional patterns or relationships to gain clarity. This is not disruptive. Rather, it encourages spiritual insight, independence, and deeper understanding of your personal emotional needs. Rahu in Aquarius affects your 6th house and indirectly supports the Sun's goals by pushing you toward greater discipline, efficiency, and problem-solving in your daily routines. This supports the 4th house transformation by encouraging practical solutions and healthier lifestyle management. Overall, This transit becomes a highly introspective yet constructive period for you. It brings a blend of inner renewal, domestic restructuring, spiritual exploration, and practical adjustments. The central theme of this transit is that true stability originates from within. The Sun illuminates hidden layers of your inner world, Mars provides determination to address them, Mercury helps articulate and analyze them, Venus brings healing and emotional balance, Saturn enforces responsibility and maturity, Jupiter offers wisdom and perspective, and Ketu encourages deeper self-awareness. This period becomes a powerful opportunity for you to redefine your foundation, strengthen your inner equilibrium, and prepare for meaningful shifts in both personal and family life. For Libra, the Sun's transit in Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026 becomes a powerful cycle of communication, courage, initiative, and skill development, as the 11th Lord moves through the 3rd house. The Sun rules the 11th house for Libra, which governs gains, achievements, fulfillment of desires, social networks, recognition, and long-term goals. When this planet of authority, visibility, and ambition enters the 3rd house of effort, communication, marketing, writing, skills, short travels, siblings, and courage, it ignites a period where your personal initiative becomes the key to unlocking professional success and material gains. The connection between the 3rd and 11th houses always creates a strong manifestation window, because the 3rd house represents the effort you make and the 11th house represents the rewards you receive. As the ruler of gains enters the house of self-effort, Libra individuals experience a month where their actions shape their outcomes more directly than usual. The transit becomes even more influential because the Sun does not travel alone. Mars is already in Sagittarius, amplifying fire and intensity, and shortly after, Venus and Mercury enter the same sign. This creates a fiery and mentally charged conjunction in the 3rd house, turning this period into a hub of communication activity and intellectual engagement. You may find yourself juggling multiple tasks, developing new ideas, taking up new responsibilities, or trying to push a major project forward. Sagittarius energy encourages expansion, so the mind becomes inspired by big visions and long-term goals. The Sun-Mars combination adds boldness, but the Sun-Mercury-Mars trio can also create heated discussions, direct speech, or confrontational communication if not handled carefully. Venus joining this combination adds creativity, charm, and social magnetism, but also the risk of interpersonal friction due to differences in opinion or ego sensitivity. A major factor shaping this transit is the mutual aspect between the Sun in Sagittarius and Jupiter transiting retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter is the ruler of the 3rd house sign Sagittarius itself, and its aspect strengthens the Sun's capacity to express ideas, communicate clearly, and pursue ambitious plans. Jupiter retrograde encourages reviewing strategies, reassessing goals, reconnecting with older contacts, and rethinking long-term communication patterns. You may return to unfinished writing projects, old marketing ideas, paused negotiations, or previous skill-based endeavors. Jupiter's blessing helps your ideas gain visibility, but the retrograde motion reminds you that refinement is necessary before expansion. You may experience moments of inspiration followed by moments of introspection, helping you balance enthusiasm with practical wisdom. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces adds discipline, pressure, and responsibility to this transit. Saturn is currently transiting your 6th house, the house of work, daily routine, debts, service, and overcoming obstacles. The 10th aspect from Saturn directly influences the 3rd house, meaning your communication, effort, and skill development now carry long-term consequences. Saturn demands precision, consistency, and realism. If you attempt shortcuts, Saturn exposes flaws. If you approach your tasks with patience and seriousness, Saturn rewards you with stability and professional growth. This aspect may bring heavier workloads, demanding clients, deadlines, or responsibilities that require greater concentration. It can also produce mental fatigue at times, reminding you to pace your energy and take care of your health. Saturn's influence also supports learning, as the 3rd house represents skill acquisition, so this is a productive time to study deeply or master a complex subject. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo introduces a layer of detachment, or unexpected shifts connected to your social circle, friendships, goals, or elder siblings. The 11th house is ruled by the Sun, and since Ketu is influencing the Sun during this transit, you may question the value of certain friendships or wonder whether certain goals still resonate with your evolving identity. Ketu encourages authenticity, so any connections rooted in superficiality may naturally fade, while relationships with spiritual, intellectual, or meaningful individuals may strengthen. Ketu's influence also adds unpredictability, so sudden opportunities or sudden endings within your network may occur. You may distance yourself from people who drain your energy, or you may discover that a long-awaited gain arrives unexpectedly. Rahu in Aquarius, positioned in your 5th house, supports creativity, intelligence, romance, and speculative ventures. While Rahu does not directly aspect the Sun in this transit, its background influence inspires innovation, unique ideas, and risk-taking tendencies. Rahu encourages experimentation, and combined with the 3rd house conjunction, this becomes a period where Libra individuals feel motivated to explore new creative directions, unconventional skills, or experimental communication styles. If you work in fields where originality matters, such as media, marketing, design, writing, teaching, or entertainment, this transit becomes especially supportive. The conjunctions in Sagittarius create an intense mental and emotional environment. The Sun with Mars enhances courage, but also impatience. You may feel an urge to push forward or assert your ideas strongly. This can serve you well if channeled into productive initiative, but it may also create misunderstandings if communication becomes too forceful. The Sun-Mercury conjunction sharpens intellect and brings focus to writing, speaking, and planning. When Mercury is hemmed between Mars and the Sun degree-wise, the communication energy can become overly heated, resulting in blunt speech or unnecessary arguments. The Sun-Venus conjunction adds charm but may also create ego-driven reactions in relationships. Venus rules your 1st house as well as the 8th house, so when Venus joins this fiery conjunction, matters related to self-worth, desire, intimacy, shared resources, or deep emotional patterns may arise through conversations or interactions. Overall, this Sun transit becomes a month of heightened activity, opportunities through communication, and expansion through self-effort for Libra individuals. Your courage increases, your ideas gain traction, and your ability to influence others strengthens. This also becomes a time where you must navigate ego triggers, communication sensitivity, and the tendency to overextend yourself. The alignment of the 11th Lord in the 3rd house shows that your professional gains arise directly from your initiative. Your voice becomes powerful, your ideas carry weight, and your willingness to communicate boldly can open new doors. Whether in professional life, social connections, writing, teaching, or negotiation, you stand at a point where clarity, courage, and effort combine to shape your future outcomes. Balancing the fiery influence of the conjunction with the discipline of Saturn, the wisdom of Jupiter, and the detachment of Ketu ensures that this transit becomes transformative in a meaningful and enduring way. For Scorpio, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026 becomes a defining period for financial matters, family responsibilities, speech, values, and the deep psychological relationship you have with your sense of security. The Sun rules your 10th house, career, reputation, authority, and public role, and as it moves into your 2nd house of wealth and family, your focus naturally shifts toward how your professional identity supports or conflicts with your financial priorities. This transit opens a month in which the connection between career and income becomes extremely active, and decisions related to finances, property, family expectations, or long-term security become unavoidable. With Mars already in Sagittarius, and Venus and Mercury joining the Sun during this period, your 2nd house becomes charged with fiery, communicative, and emotionally complex energy. Added to this are Jupiter's mutual aspect from Gemini, Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces, and Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo, while Rahu in Aquarius influences domestic priorities and long-term planning. Together, these transits create a powerful atmosphere of growth, introspection, financial restructuring, and karmic decision-making for you. Because the Sun rules your 10th house, its movement into the 2nd house links career recognition and financial outcomes in a very direct way. You may feel pressure to prove yourself professionally, take on new responsibilities, or make decisions that improve financial stability. For some, this transit may bring increased income or new financial opportunities as a result of your professional reputation. For others, it may expose weaknesses, such as irregular financial habits, career uncertainty, or conflict between family expectations and professional ambitions. The Sun illuminates whatever requires attention, and in the 2nd house, it brings clarity regarding what truly holds value, both materially and emotionally. Since the 2nd house also governs speech, you may find your tone becoming more authoritative, firm, or even forceful, especially with Mars present. This can bring success in negotiations, teaching, or leadership roles, but it can also create misunderstandings if not handled with care. The conjunction with Mars intensifies the Sun's expression. Mars is your first house ruler and your natural source of drive, ambition, and survival instincts. When Mars joins the Sun in the second house, your energy is directed towards securing resources, protecting family, or confronting long-standing financial issues. This can manifest as aggressive decision-making, sudden financial shifts, heated family discussions, or a strong motivation to work harder and earn more. At the same time, emotional reactions may become sharper, and you may feel provoked more easily, especially when discussing sensitive topics. This is a transformative aspect because it encourages you to break old patterns around money and self-worth, especially if fear or insecurity has been guiding past behavior. Venus joining the conjunction introduces another emotional and relational dimension. Venus rules your 7th and 12th houses, and its presence in the second house during this fiery transit can influence both relationships and financial partnerships. You may experience important financial discussions with a spouse or partner about budgeting, long-term goals, or shared responsibilities. In some cases, Venus can bring opportunities to earn through relationships, collaborations, or creative work. Because Venus is surrounded by the Sun and Mars, emotions in relationships may feel strained, especially if communication becomes ego-driven. You may crave comfort, luxury, or emotional reassurance, but those desires may clash with practical financial concerns. Mercury's entry into Sagittarius brings intellectual clarity but also quick reactions in speech. Mercury rules your 8th and 11th houses, meaning matters of joint finances, inheritance, investments, gains, social circles, and long-term planning are activated simultaneously. This transit may bring unexpected financial news, deeper conversations about shared resources, or important decisions about long-term investments. With Mercury joining the Sun, Mars, and Venus, there is potential for heated debates, strategic breakthroughs, or sharp insights into your financial path. If Mercury becomes tightly sandwiched between the Sun and Mars degree-wise, your communication may become more reactive or intense, requiring conscious effort to speak thoughtfully. Jupiter's mutual aspect from Gemini serves as a stabilizing, guiding influence. Jupiter retrograde may encourage you to revisit old financial structures, reevaluate investments, renegotiate terms, or reconsider the connection between your career and income. You may return to previous financial plans, reconnect with former clients, or reassess your own professional value. Jupiter's aspect brings wisdom, fairness, and a long-term perspective, helping you navigate the fiery energies in Sagittarius with maturity. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces adds seriousness, accountability, and structure to this transit. Saturn in your 5th house emphasizes long-term planning, disciplined effort, education, and matters involving children. When Saturn aspects the Sun in the 2nd house, it demands disciplined financial behavior, efficient planning, and responsible decision-making. You may feel your confidence tested or face pressure to improve your financial management. Yet Saturn can bring stability through consistent effort, allowing genuine financial progress for those willing to work patiently. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo adds a karmic dimension to your experiences. Ketu influences your 10th house of career, and its aspect on the Sun may create a push-pull dynamic between ambition and detachment. You may question whether your current career direction truly aligns with your values. You may also experience temporary detachment from material pursuits or sudden realization that old financial habits no longer serve your growth. Ketu's influence encourages inner clarity, even if it first brings moments of confusion. Rahu in Aquarius continues to influence your 4th house, home, emotional peace, family environment, and property. While Rahu does not directly aspect the Sun, it plays a background role by amplifying your desire for stability, comfort, recognition at home, or independence from family expectations. Some of you may consider relocating, renovating property, or adjusting your domestic environment to align with your evolving goals. Overall, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius marks a month of financial restructuring, self-worth evaluation, career income alignment, and deeper understanding of family responsibilities for you as a Scorpio. It reinforces the link between what you earn and how you are recognized. The presence of multiple fiery planets in your 2nd house brings intensity but also tremendous opportunity. With conscious effort, this period offers a chance to rebuild financial strength, express your values clearly, and establish a solid foundation for the future. For Sagittarius, the Sun's transit through your first house becomes one of the most important periods of the year because the Sun is the ruler of your ninth house of fortune, dharma, higher learning, destiny, teachers, father, and divine protection. When your ninth lord enters your first house, a powerful alignment forms between personal identity and higher purpose. You may feel life redirecting you toward an authentic path with unusual clarity, renewed confidence, and a sense of spiritual awakening. This year the effect intensifies because the Sun does not move alone. It joins Mars, Venus, and Mercury in your sign, forming a fiery, dynamic conjunction that amplifies courage, self-expression, passion, communication, and notable changes in how you present yourself to the world. Jupiter's mutual aspect from Gemini creates a strong connection between your first and seventh houses, while Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces, Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo, and Rahu's position in Aquarius add layers of structure, introspection, and social ambition to the month. At the most basic level, this transit shines direct light on your physical body, personality, appearance, health, confidence, and the way you take charge of life. Because the Sun rules your ninth house, its presence in your first house feels like a blessing. Opportunities, guidance, and protective timing can show up in ways that push you toward a larger life purpose. Many of you will experience a renewed sense of direction and stronger inner determination. Decisions that previously felt uncertain may suddenly acquire meaning, and encounters with teachers, mentors, or influential people can lead to clear next steps. This is a month in which destiny becomes active. Meetings, lessons, or events may carry consequences that shape the rest of the year. The mutual aspect between the Sun and Jupiter heightens this effect considerably. Jupiter's support, though it is retrograde in Gemini, returns wisdom and a broader perspective to your self-expression. That support often feels like practical luck, doors open at useful moments, or you meet people who help forward a larger plan. Jupiter's retrograde motion encourages you to review and refine earlier commitments rather than rush into new ones. Still, the Sun in your first house helps you act with more self-awareness and purpose. For many of you, this period favors teaching, publishing, higher education, travel that expands perspective, or work that places you in a leadership or advisory role. Mars' presence in Sagittarius brings strength and intensity. Mars rules your 5th and 12th houses, so its conjunction with the Sun makes you bolder, more driven, and physically energized. You are more willing to take risks now, to defend your beliefs, and to act on convictions. The downside is that impatience and bluntness can rise quickly. Arguments around ideology, sharp public statements, or hasty decisions are possible if you do not channel Mars constructively. Use this energy for athletic pursuits, disciplined creative work, or direct action toward long-held goals. At its best, the Mars-Sun combination makes you a warrior for Dharma, someone who stands up for principle with integrity and stamina. When Mercury joins the conjunction on December 29th, your mind sharpens and communication becomes a central theme. You may feel a compelling urge to write, teach, lecture, debate, or otherwise articulate the ideas that now feel essential. Mercury between Sun and Mars increases mental quickness but also the risk of speaking impulsively. Misunderstandings can arise if you assume others share your background or context. Be deliberate about phrasing and timing in negotiations, legal matters, or public statements. This is an excellent time for planning, research, contracts tied to publishing or travel, and any activity that benefits from fast, focused thinking. Venus entering the conjunction brings emotional, relational, and material nuances. Venus rules your 6th and 11th houses, so its placement in the first house increases charm, attractiveness, and opportunities that come through networks and friendships. Relationships may feel more magnetic and intense now. You could attract partners who reflect your emerging purpose, or find that collaborations bring both pleasure and friction. Venus in a fiery conjunction with Sun and Mars can feel pressured. Romance may be passionate but also confrontational, so balance desire with diplomacy. Financial benefits through group activity, social circles, or creative collaboration are possible, but be mindful of impulsive spending driven by pride or status. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces brings gravity and responsibility into the picture. Saturn tests your foundations, asking you to build stability beneath the intensity of the moment. Expect delays or extra effort around home, family, or long-term comfort if those issues are active in your chart. Saturn's role is not to block you but to ensure whatever you build has staying power. If you are willing to do the disciplined work, results achieved now can be durable. If you seek shortcuts, Saturn will expose instability. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo adds a spiritual, introspective tone. Ketu encourages you to strip away inherited beliefs that no longer serve your growth and to search for a more authentic voice. You may feel periods of detachment from established ideologies and be drawn toward more individualized spiritual practices. This can be disorienting initially, but it enables a refining of values. You learn to discriminate between authentic wisdom and conditioned narratives. Accept moments of quiet and reflection. They will clarify what to carry forward and what to release. Rahu in Aquarius activates networking, short journeys, and unconventional learning. Rahu's influence complements the Sun's activation by expanding your reach and introducing novel ways to pursue destiny. Taken together, these planetary factors create a month of intense personal growth and outward movement. Your identity becomes infused with higher purpose, clarity, and fiery resolve. You are pushed toward action, expression, and new beginnings that align with your beliefs. Opportunities related to teaching, travel, publishing, leadership, or spiritual work are favored, especially if you pair enthusiasm with restraint and strategy. The combination of Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Venus makes you visible and vocally compelling. Jupiter's aspect brings wisdom and timing. Saturn requires discipline. Ketu refines your inner compass, and Rahu widens your social and intellectual horizons. Practical guidance for this month: focus on presenting a coherent version of yourself, clarify goals, streamline messaging, and prioritize projects that match long-term vision. Channel Mars into structured activity rather than argument. Let Mercury organize ideas before you broadcast them. Use Venus to cultivate diplomatic alliances. Accept Saturn's slower but solid pace, and allow Ketu's quiet work to simplify what you truly need. If you integrate these energies consciously, this transit will not only illuminate who you are becoming but will also make the foundation for that version of yourself far more durable. For Capricorn, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026 becomes one of the most introspective, transformative, and spiritually awakening periods of the year. The Sun rules your 8th house, a domain associated with sudden events, secrets, research, longevity, inheritance, occult knowledge, shared resources, vulnerability, and profound change. When the 8th Lord moves into the 12th house, another deep, hidden, spiritual, and isolated domain, the month turns into a time when inner processes take precedence over external achievements. This transit represents a merging of two moksha houses, meaning that karmic cleansing, release, endings, and mystical insights are highly active. You may feel pulled inward, away from the noise of the outside world, as though life itself is guiding you toward purification, spiritual understanding, or the closure of a long-held chapter. The 12th house governs isolation, foreign lands, meditation, sleep, expenditure, charity, divine surrender, and subconscious patterns. When the Sun enters this house, your awareness and sense of purpose naturally gravitate toward quieter settings, inward reflection, or solitude. Some Capricorn individuals may experience periods of physical withdrawal, such as spending more time alone, needing extra rest, exploring spiritual practices, or revisiting memories they have long avoided. Because the Sun is the 8th Lord, its presence here often brings buried matters to the surface, allowing you to confront fears, release attachments, or acknowledge truths hidden within the psyche. This is a time when dreams become vivid, intuition sharpens, and your inner voice speaks with greater clarity. Mars in Sagittarius during this transit intensifies the process. Mars rules your 4th and 11th houses, and in the 12th it can stir agitation, restlessness, or suppressed frustration. You may feel compelled to address unresolved issues related to family, home, or friendships. Mars adds heat to the Sun's transformative work, meaning purging and confrontation may occur more forcefully than expected. Although this can create temporary discomfort, it ultimately leads to empowerment. Because the Sun and Mars together heighten courage and resolve, you may finally face topics you previously avoided, such as long-standing grief, hidden fears, financial vulnerability, or buried anger. For some, this transit may manifest as foreign travel, relocation, or long-distance journeys intended to foster healing or renewal. Venus joining the alignment adds relational and financial layers. Venus rules your 5th and 10th houses, and when it meets the Sun and Mars in the 12th, your love life, creativity, and professional identity become intertwined with inward processes. Some Capricorns may withdraw from relationships, desire more space, or reflect on recurring romantic patterns. Venus in the 12th often brings karmic connections to the surface. Someone from the past might reappear for closure, or old attachments may resurface in thought. Professionally, Venus in the 12th suggests behind-the-scenes activity, planning, strategizing, or preparing for a creative or career breakthrough that will become visible only after the Sun moves into your first house. Mercury joins the conjunction on December 29th, adding a cerebral layer to an already dense atmosphere. Mercury rules your 6th and 9th houses, so your thinking becomes analytical and investigative during this period. You may be drawn to research, spiritual studies, psychology, astrology, or transformational topics. Mercury in the 12th strengthens intuitive cognition and may bring insights through dreams or symbolic signs. When Mercury is compressed between the Sun and Mars, there is a risk of overthinking, internal conflict, or difficulty expressing what you feel. Many Capricorns may prefer inner dialogue to verbal exchange at this time. Jupiter's mutual aspect with the Sun from Gemini strongly shapes this transit. Jupiter rules your 3rd and 12th houses, and its retrograde aspect lends a reflective, philosophical tone to your mental landscape. Jupiter's energy supports spiritual growth, learning, and healing, but retrogradation suggests much of this growth will come by revisiting earlier material. You may rediscover an old practice, reconnect with a former teacher, unearth a forgotten talent, or face a past wound that requires comprehension. Jupiter also offers protection to the 12th house, mitigating harsher effects and encouraging conscious development. The mutual aspect between Sun and Jupiter helps you find meaning and purpose even in experiences that initially feel draining or confusing. Saturn, your first house ruler, aspects Sagittarius from Pisces with its powerful 10th aspect, adding structure, responsibility, and karmic accountability to what you are processing. Saturn ensures that inner work does not remain purely theoretical but translates into concrete change, new boundaries, disciplined practices, or long-term plans. You may become acutely aware of the consequences of earlier choices. Saturn's gaze on the 12th also increases duties towards self-care and discipline, nudging you to address issues you may have postponed. While the burden may feel heavy at times, Saturn's influence supports sustainable transformation rather than quick fixes. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo brings detachment and spiritual insight. Ketu encourages you to loosen ties to ego-based fears, material expectations, or psychological habits that limit you. During this transit, Capricorns may experience sudden realizations about their recurrent patterns, relationships, or financial anxieties. Ketu's influence can make you less attached to worldly concerns and more drawn toward inner truth. This fosters better meditation, clearer intuition, and the capacity to perceive deeper meanings behind events. Rahu's presence in Aquarius affects your 2nd house of finances, family, and speech. As the Sun transits your 12th house, financial focus may become uncertain or variable. Rahu promotes ambition and experimental ideas, but because the 12th house signifies expenditure, exercise caution against unnecessary spending. That said, some expenses during this period may be purposeful. Investments in retreats, healing programs, travel, or personal development can prove valuable. Overall, this transit marks a month of profound inner transformation for Capricorn individuals. You may withdraw from the external world not out of weakness but because your soul is undergoing a significant recalibration. Old layers dissolve, deeper truths emerge, and new clarity forms. This is a time to rest, reflect, surrender, and heal. Even though the outside world may seem quieter, major internal reconstruction is underway. Once the Sun enters Capricorn after January 14th, you will likely feel renewed, restored, and ready to step into a new chapter with greater resilience and authentic self-understanding. For Aquarius, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16th, 2025 to January 14th, 2026 becomes an influential period for relationships, partnerships, social connections, financial gains, ambitions, and the larger purpose that guides your participation in society. Because the Sun rules your 7th house, matters of partnership, agreements, marriage, collaborations, and public visibility are always highlighted whenever the Sun becomes active. Now, as it moves through your 11th house of gains, networks, long-term goals, recognition, and fulfillment of desires, a direct connection forms between your partnerships and your progress. This month encourages you to align relationships and collaborations with your life's aspirations. Whatever you have been aiming for, professionally or personally, now becomes dependent on how effectively you collaborate with others, negotiate roles, and participate in group efforts. The Sun entering Sagittarius activates the philosophical, expansive, and purposeful nature of the 11th house, pushing you to evaluate whether the people around you genuinely support your aspirations or whether you have outgrown certain relationships, associations, or expectations. This transit grows stronger because Mars, Venus, and Mercury also occupy Sagittarius, joining the Sun in a dynamic conjunction. Mars adds passion, courage, initiative, and competitiveness, making you far more proactive in pursuing ambitions. You may suddenly feel motivated to break through limitations or accelerate progress toward long-term goals. Venus enhances charm, diplomacy, and social magnetism, attracting new alliances or reconnecting you with old friends. Mercury brings communication, negotiation, learning, and intellectual exchange into the spotlight. Together, these planets create a month where you may step into leadership roles, assume responsibility for a group or community, expand your professional network, or receive opportunities through friends, colleagues, or social circles. Because the Sun is your seventh lord, partners, both personal and business, play a major role in shaping 11th house outcomes. You may enter collaborations that open new pathways to success, or you may work with teams that help you accomplish goals you could not achieve alone. A major influence on this transit is the mutual aspect between the Sun in Sagittarius and Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter governs wisdom, expansion, and higher understanding, and its retrograde motion encourages introspection, revisiting past ideas, and reevaluating plans. Since Jupiter occupies your fifth house, its link with the Sun connects creativity, intelligence, education, children, romance, and future planning with the 11th house of long-term achievements. You may return to projects, goals, or dreams you once set aside and now see with renewed clarity. You may also reconnect with mentors, guides, or influential figures from your past who helped shape your future trajectory. The mutual aspect between the Sun and Jupiter strengthens your confidence and direction, but because Jupiter is retrograde, results may unfold gradually or only after thoughtful adjustments. This aspect also highlights the ethical dimension of your relationships and alliances, helping you discern motives and evaluate who genuinely supports your evolution. You may revise your expectations of friendships or professional associations as you reassess their integrity and long-term value. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces adds another essential layer. Saturn is your chart ruler, so its aspect on the Sun brings seriousness, discipline, and accountability. It grounds your ambitions and demands that you approach goals with structure and maturity. Saturn may slow down certain gains, but only to ensure they are stable, well-earned, and aligned with your long-term purpose rather than fleeting impulses. Saturn's influence also affects relationships, making you more realistic about who you invest your time and energy into. Some friendships or group affiliations may fade if they lack depth, loyalty, or shared direction. Professionally, Saturn may introduce additional responsibilities, deadlines, or standards, especially in collaborative environments. While this pressure may feel heavy at times, it sharpens your leadership abilities and strengthens your position within social or professional hierarchies. Ketu's fifth aspect from Leo influences your 11th house as well, adding detachment, introspection, and spiritual reevaluation. You may feel emotionally distant from certain friendships or group activities even while externally involved. Moments of clarity may reveal hidden motives or show you that you have outgrown old social patterns. Ketu tends to dissolve what no longer supports your soul's growth, so certain connections may drift away naturally. At the same time, Ketu sharpens intuition, offering insight into future possibilities and helping you choose alliances that truly align with your purpose. This influence makes you more selective, preferring meaningful connections over superficial socializing. With the Sun, Mars, Venus, and Mercury in Sagittarius and Ketu influencing from Leo, you experience intellectual and spiritual growth simultaneously. You become more aware of your role in society and more conscious of your responsibility to contribute meaningfully. Rahu's transit through Aquarius intensifies everything further. Rahu amplifies desire, ambition, visibility, and the hunger for innovation. With Rahu in your first house, your individuality is strong, magnetic, and unmistakable. This becomes especially visible during the Sun's transit through your 11th house. You may pursue bold ventures, present unconventional ideas, or assume leadership roles in networks or organizations. Rahu enhances your visibility and increases your desire for recognition and achievement. It also increases restlessness and the urge to move quickly, especially under Mars' fiery influence. You must remain grounded and discerning, as there is a greater likelihood of overestimating abilities or trusting people too quickly. Overall, the Sun's transit through your 11th house becomes a powerful time of expansion, social engagement, ambition, and relationship-driven success. Partnerships and alliances play a central role in shaping your future. You become more conscious of the people you surround yourself with and how they influence your path. The Sagittarius conjunction pushes you toward larger goals, new ventures, and bold ambitions. Jupiter's mutual aspect brings clarity and long-term perspective. Saturn ensures stability and refinement. Ketu encourages spiritual maturity and discernment. Rahu intensifies ambition and self-expression. Together, these energies create a month where you can reimagine your future, strengthen your network, refine your social identity, and take meaningful steps toward fulfilling desires that have been in your heart for years. For Pisces, the Sun's transit through Sagittarius from December 16, 2025 to January 14, 2026 marks one of the most professionally defining periods of the year. Since the Sun rules your 6th house of work, service, routine, health, debts, conflicts, and competition, its movement into the 10th house of career, authority, duty, reputation, and public life creates a strong karmic link between your daily work responsibilities and your long-term professional direction. The 10th house is one of the most important trines of your chart, and when a functional malefic like the Sun for Pisces enters this house, it intensifies the need for accountability, discipline, structure, and rightful action. What makes this transit particularly powerful in 2025 to 26 is that the Sun enters a sign already occupied by Mars, and within days both Venus and Mercury join the combination. To add further layers, Jupiter sits retrograde in Gemini, casting an exact 7th aspect to Sagittarius. Saturn in Pisces casts its 10th aspect, and Ketu influences from Leo. Rahu's transit in Aquarius activates the subconscious and spiritual dimensions of life, indirectly coloring how you experience professional changes. Together, these planetary influences create a month that may bring demanding situations, rapid developments, opportunities for recognition, and moments of pressure that help shape your public path. The Sun in Sagittarius naturally brings expansion into the career sphere. Sagittarius is a sign of learning, teaching, guiding, and wisdom, and as the Sun transits here, Pisces individuals may feel compelled to express their knowledge more boldly or take on leadership roles that require vision and ethical strength. Since the Sun rules the 6th house, matters related to work ethic, discipline, co-workers, employees, service, and problem-solving become the foundation through which career advancement occurs. You may find that authority figures are watching more closely, not necessarily in a negative way, but because circumstances require you to demonstrate competence, responsibility, and consistency. The mutual aspect with Jupiter in Gemini adds intelligence, adaptability, and enhanced analytical ability. Even with Jupiter retrograding, this mutual aspect brings clarity about long-term goals. It helps you see where professional adjustments are needed, what skills require improvement, and where changes in routine or approach can lead to better outcomes. You may revisit earlier job opportunities, past decisions, or previous professional relationships, gaining new understanding that helps you move forward. Mars conjunction with the Sun in the 10th house significantly increases ambition and drive. Mars rules your 2nd and 9th houses, connecting finances, family responsibility, ethics, learning, and dharma with your career path. When Mars meets the Sun, the hunger for success intensifies. Pisces individuals may feel restless, eager to push forward, assert authority, or make daring moves in their profession. This also increases the possibility of conflict with bosses, colleagues, or employees if not handled carefully. Since the Sun already represents authority and Mars brings force, this period requires careful balance. You must assert yourself, but not to the point of rigidity or aggression. When used constructively, this combination gives incredible momentum to career goals, allowing you to complete long-pending tasks, initiate new projects, or pursue leadership roles. Mercury's entry into Sagittarius on December 29 activates communication-based responsibilities in your profession. Reports, presentations, negotiations, writing, documentation, analysis, and public interaction may increase significantly. Mercury between Sun and Mars can create moments of pressure, misunderstandings, or heated exchanges if degrees are close, but it also sharpens intellectual clarity and strategic thinking. Pisces individuals may find themselves speaking more confidently, expressing ideas more directly, and persuading others with greater impact. This transit is beneficial for professions connected to teaching, consultancy, publishing, law, media, communication, management, and technology. Venus joining the conjunction adds relational and financial layers. Venus rules the 3rd and 8th houses for Pisces, connecting communication, courage, transformation, joint resources, partnerships, and emotional healing with your career domain. While Venus in Sagittarius typically enjoys freedom and philosophical exploration, its presence between Sun and Mars may create temporary dissatisfaction in relationships with colleagues or clients. You may feel pressured to meet expectations or navigate interpersonal dynamics with more finesse than usual. Venus also improves public image, helping you appear more charismatic and appealing in professional settings. Financial opportunities through partners, clients, or shared resources may arise, but such opportunities may require patience and careful evaluation. Saturn's 10th aspect from Pisces brings grounding, seriousness, and evaluation. Saturn in your first house during this transit pushes you toward maturity, long-term thinking, and responsibility for your own actions. When Saturn aspects the Sun in the 10th house, it tests your professional stability, patience, ethical conduct, and discipline. You may feel the weight of responsibilities more heavily than usual. Delays in professional matters are possible, but Saturn ensures that whatever progresses during this period becomes long-lasting and meaningful. This is a time to focus on building solid foundations rather than chasing shortcuts. Ketu's 5th aspect from Leo influences the 10th house by creating moments of introspection about your professional identity. Ketu often dissolves ego-based motivations, forcing you to examine whether your current career aligns with your soul's path. You may question your role, your achievements, or even your ambitions. This does not harm your progress. Instead, it purifies your intentions and helps you detach from superficial motivations. Some Pisces individuals may develop an urge to move toward more meaningful or spiritually aligned careers in the long run. Rahu in Aquarius activates the subconscious mind and the private spiritual space of the chart. Although Rahu does not directly aspect the Sun, its presence in the 12th house influences your emotional experience during the transit. You may be working through internal fears, old psychological patterns, or anxieties related to performance and recognition. Rahu pushes you to evolve and to break free from limitations you previously accepted. This can complement the Sun's journey by helping you release outdated professional identities. Overall, the Sun's transit in Sagittarius for Pisces individuals is a month of powerful transformation and visible progress. It brings opportunities to reshape your career direction, strengthen your professional authority, deepen your work ethic, and align your path with long-term goals. Although challenges, pressures, or conflicts may arise, they are stepping stones that lead to greater clarity and maturity. This is a time when your actions, decisions, and discipline can leave a lasting impact on your professional journey. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the Sidereal Zodiac system used in Vedic astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions. The real impact depends on your dasha cycles and your individual birth chart. For a personalized analysis or consultation, feel free to reach out. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And now, you can also hype this video to boost it within the community. Your support helps this knowledge reach more people who may benefit. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.